Let me ask you something. Have you ever picked up your phone just to check one message and somehow 30 minutes disappeared? Or maybe you've walked into a room only to completely forget why you went there. Or perhaps you started reading a page in a book, and by the time you reached the bottom, you couldn't remember a single thing you had just read. If any of that sounds familiar, you're definitely not alone. Millions of people around the world experience these moments every single day. And they're all asking the same question. Are we becoming less intelligent? At first, the answer seems obvious. Technology, social media, short videos. But what if that's only part of the story? What if the real answer is much more surprising and much more important? To understand what's really happening, we need to step back and look at the bigger picture. Because this isn't just a story about smartphones or social media. It's a story about how the human brain adapts to the world around it. To find the answer, we need to go back in time. 100 years ago, life looked very different. People didn't carry the world's information in their pockets. There were no smartphones, no social media competing for every second of your attention, and certainly no endless scrolling. But the biggest difference wasn't the technology people had. It was how they spent their attention. There were no notifications waiting to interrupt every few minutes, no phones buzzing beside them all day. People could focus on one task for long periods without being constantly pulled away. So what changed? It wasn't our brains, it was the world around them and around us. Our environment changed faster than at any other time in human history, and our brains had no choice but to adapt. Think of your brain as a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger it becomes. But muscles don't care what you train them to do. If you practice lifting weights, you'll become stronger. And your brain follows exactly the same rule. Whatever you do repeatedly, your brain becomes more efficient at doing. That's what makes the human brain so incredible. It isn't working against you. It's constantly learning from your daily habits. Every time you scroll, every notification you check, every interruption you respond to, teaches your brain what it should expect next. Our first suspect is something we all experience every single day. Distraction. Not once a day, not twice a day, but dozens, sometimes even hundreds of times. Each interruption seems small, almost harmless. A quick glance at a notification, a message, a vibration, a single swipe, but your brain notices every one of them because every interruption breaks your focus, and every time your attention is pulled away, your brain has to start all over again and again, until staying focused becomes the difficult part. Your attention isn't disappearing. It's being trained to expect interruption. But interruptions are only part of the story. There's another reason your brain keeps reaching for your phone. Your brain loves rewards, especially the ones it doesn't expect. Imagine opening 3 gift boxes. Most of them are empty. One contains something exciting. The next time you're given the chance, you'll probably want to look again. Scrolling works in much the same way. Most posts are ordinary. Then suddenly, you find something funny, something surprising, something interesting. Your brain remembers that feeling, so you scroll again and again. Not because you're weak, not because you lack self-control, but because your brain has learned a pattern. Maybe the next swipe will reveal something even better. Maybe the next video will be more interesting. Maybe the next post will make you laugh. And that's exactly what keeps the cycle going. Every swipe carries a tiny possibility of a reward, and your brain keeps chasing that possibility. But distraction and rewards are only part of the story. There's another reason your phone can be so difficult to put down. Think about every app on your phone. Social media, video platforms, news, games, shopping. They all have something in common. They compete for one thing: your attention. Because attention has quietly become one of the world's most valuable resources. The longer you stay, the more valuable that attention becomes. So every platform wants to keep you for just a little longer. One more video, one more swipe, one more notification. Each decision feels tiny, almost impossible to notice. But tiny decisions repeated every day slowly become habits. And habits quietly shape the way we spend our lives. If you're enjoying this journey into how the human brain really works, consider subscribing. Here's the good news. Your brain never stops adapting. The same ability that allowed it to build these habits can also build new ones. Your brain doesn't judge what you practice. It simply becomes better at whatever you repeat. Every repetition strengthens a pathway. Small actions matter far more than dramatic changes. 1 uninterrupted minute becomes 2. 2 minutes become 5. 5 minutes become a habit. And habits slowly reshape your brain. Not overnight, not in a single weekend, but one day at a time. Progress is almost invisible while it's happening, like watching a tiny seed grow. But eventually, you look back and realize something has changed. So if your brain can adapt to distraction, it can also adapt to focus. And that leads to a simple experiment. For the next 7 days, choose just one moment every day when your phone stays completely out of reach. Just 20 minutes, that's all. Read, write, draw, learn something, or simply sit quietly. At first, your attention will probably wander. You'll want to check your phone. You may even reach for it without realizing. That's completely normal. You're not failing. You're training, just like strengthening a muscle. Your brain improves through repetition. Every minute you stay focused is another repetition, another signal telling your brain, this is important. You probably won't notice much after the first day, maybe not even after the third. But by the end of the week, something interesting may begin to happen. You might find yourself finishing a chapter without checking your phone, holding a conversation without feeling the urge to look at a screen, or simply enjoying a quiet moment without needing constant stimulation. And that's when you begin to realize something remarkable. You were never necessarily becoming less intelligent. Your brain was simply becoming exceptionally good at practicing exactly what you asked it to do. So, are humans really getting dumber? Not exactly. The evidence points somewhere more interesting. Your brain is doing exactly what brains have always done. It adapts. Whatever you repeat becomes easier. Whatever you ignore can become harder. That's not failure. That's adaptation. The same brain that learned distraction can learn focus. The same mind that learned to scroll can learn to create. The question was never whether your brain could change. The real question is, what are you training it to become? And that question changes everything. Because your habits aren't just things you do, they're instructions. Every day, you're teaching your brain what deserves your attention. Every day, your brain is asking one simple question: what should I become better at? It never argues. It never judges. It simply pays attention to what you repeat. Every habit casts a vote for the person you're becoming. One vote doesn't decide the outcome, but thousands of them do. That's how habits quietly shape a life, not in one dramatic moment, but through ordinary days. The small choices that nobody notices eventually become the life everyone notices. Your future isn't built all at once. It's built one repetition at a time. One page, one conversation, one workout, one focused moment, one decision, repeated again and again. And this is where the story becomes personal. Because your environment is constantly giving your brain instructions. The question is, are you choosing those instructions or simply receiving them? Technology isn't the enemy. Your phone isn't automatically making you stupid. Social media isn't automatically making you less intelligent. The real danger is forgetting that you have a choice, because the easiest thing to repeat is usually the thing you'll repeat most, and your brain will happily make that path easier. That's why changing your environment can sometimes be more powerful than relying on willpower. Make distraction harder to reach, and make the things you value easier to reach. Put the book where you can see it. Put the phone somewhere you can't automatically reach it. Turn off the notifications that don't matter. Create spaces where your attention can stay in one place, whether you're choosing those instructions or simply receiving them, because your attention is your life in miniature. Whatever receives your attention receives a piece of your day, and enough days become a life. So maybe the goal isn't to use technology less. Maybe it's to use it intentionally, to decide what deserves your attention, instead of letting everything compete for it. So, are humans becoming dumber? Maybe we're asking the wrong question, because intelligence isn't disappearing. Our brains are still incredibly powerful. They're learning every single day. The real question is, what are we teaching them? Every scroll teaches something. Every notification teaches something. But every page you read teaches something too. Every problem you solve, every idea you create, every moment you spend truly focused is teaching your brain what kind of mind you want to have. So maybe humans aren't becoming dumber. Maybe we're becoming exactly what we practice. And that means the choice is still ours. Because your brain is listening every single day. The question is, what are you going to teach it next? If this video made you think differently about your own mind, hit like and subscribe. And remember, your attention isn't just something you spend. It's what you spend your life on.